Tell me about some of the Big D members.
Sean P. Rogan is the guitar player, as you all know, for Big D, and he's a good old Rhode Island kid. He's just a nice kid, really good musician. You know, we'll go to the wall for his friends. You know what I mean? He really will. And I just think he's all around just a good individual, well-rounded person.
Steve's great. I have a lot of laughs with Steve. He's a big guy. He's a good guy to have around. Yeah, I have a lot of good memories hanging out with Steve. Good friends for a long time.
Yeah, Dan's the best. Dan holds us afloat. The guy's amazing. He's amazing. He's like Superman to us in the band.
Dave the singer, just really knows what he's doing. Just totally comes into a situation, is able to figure out what it is, and he's just able, great front man, can do his thing, My dad has even said, I've never seen anyone, do that kind of physical jumping around, and then Dave can break things down with you, and then the next day everything, it's just like, it all makes sense. That's what I think.
JR, he's awesome on the road. He's very, very concerned with making sure that everybody's happy. And he goes out of his way sometimes to make sure that, like, after the set, you have a beer or something like that you feel relaxed, you feel comfortable, and he just has, like, the biggest heart. He's awesome. He's a fucking amazing player and an amazing person.
Paul plays trombone in Big D. Paul's one of the nicest people that I know. Pretty much never gets upset. Paul's great.
Ryan's awesome. Ryan came in like a bat out of hell. Horn players are very hard to find. But Ryan can play, and Ryan can hang out, and he's not weird, and there's nothing wrong with Ryan. Like, he's a good soul.
Ryan is just like man on the scene. He's just like the guy you want to see at the party. Like, if he's in the room, you want to go and make sure you say hey to him, because he's just a nice guy, always down to be like, hey, how you doing?
It had been 6 years that we had done practically every single thing on our own. From promoting ourselves, making merch, to booking our own tours. We had learned so much, and with that, we had gained a lot, and I mean a lot of experience. So for this film, we decided to give younger bands some do-it-yourself lessons, an inside look at us, so that they can maybe avoid some of the bumps in the road that they will find on that long touring highway, and hopefully not have to learn everything the hard way. So check it out. Big D and the Kids Table started in the fall of 1995. Our first show was at the Middle East Club in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Back then we were just a bunch of buddies that hung out and played music all the time.
Big D already had a guitar player named Jeremy, so for that first Middle East show, I just sang backup and jumped around.
It's crazy to think back on those first tours. I mean, we were just teenagers, and I still can't believe all of us dropped everything to go on tour.
Before we had a van, we took subways, buses, and skated to shows.
The only way we were able to record our first two records was to sneak into a studio called Big Sound when it was closed. Our buddy John Lammy worked there. He did it for $300 and some beer. God, we were so pressed for time. We had to finish up the recording before the studio was booked the next day. I remember I had to record my vocals from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
We slept in shifts when we weren't recording. The way I found out Good Luck was going to be on Asian Man Records was a note David left on my bed. It said, "Hey, we got signed to Asian Man Records. Meet me at the bar." So I went.
I remember having a job in those days that when I woke up it was dark out, and after working all day I'd go home and it would still be dark out. So when we went out on tour and I was finally out in the sun with all my friends, I realized this is it. This is what I want.
Somebody was always getting a mohawk.
There was one tour with the Lawrence Arms and who was it?
MU330.
And out of everybody on tour, everyone got a mohawk except 2 or 3 people. Is that right?
Yeah, me and you.
We were the only ones?
Yeah. And Chris Bush.
That was like 27 mohawks, so it's pretty good.
So go ahead and call it a raw revolution.
I always joke about the fact that we see each other more than anyone sees anyone. We see each other more than you see your parents, you see your girlfriend, astronauts see each other, guys stuck in a submarine see each other. We wake up and we go to bed at the same time. Some of the best moments are in the van when you're stuck in a small box for, 2 to 8 to 12 to 57 hours. One of the best things is Steve cracks us up the whole time.
Being in the van is being on tour. When you play 200 shows a year, that means you're on tour for at least 220, 230 days a year.
So you can call it a raw revolution.
But on the road, you just get closer and closer. You get to experience life with your best friends.
Revolution. Yeah, go ahead and call it a raw revolution.
Most people think being on tour is the greatest thing in the world, playing shows every night. And they're right.
So you can call it a raw revolution. Yeah, go ahead and call it a raw revolution. 'Cause it's all we know. Yeah, it's all we know. See, it's all we know. Yes, it's all we know.
I was psyched that we got to play all the cool clubs like the Rat, CBGB's, and the Fireside Bowl. Even when we were playing to nobody, it was a good day. After 4 years of non-stop touring, Mike Park from Asian Man actually fronted us plane tickets and sent us off to tour England and Europe.
That's when we met Lil and Catherine from Household Name Records. They put out Gypsy Hill overseas.
Ben Corrigan met us at the airport. He used to drive us. Ben, out of Gypsy Hill, London, quickly became one of Big D's most favorite guys in the entire world.
I'm from Gypsy Hill, I don't know what you're talking about. What?
What music they play?
It's sort of like not very good, sort of weirdy, sort of punky, jazzy bollock.
The guy is fucking hilarious.
He taught us everything about music, Europe, and the right way to tour.
Good boys do. Good girls don't. Double standards feeding off the rusty babes of the past. The things we've heard.
Dale from Leeds, England, also drove us through England and Europe. He'd often give us his little words of wisdom.
Can you blame the fish for swimming, the cows for mooing, the birds for flying, the politicians for lying? Let the smokers smoke.
Who listens to the punk rockers anymore? Start the fire like you're bored, just like Mark Twain. Put the rolls away, put the rolls away, put the rolls away, put the
It was crazy loony for us New England kids to suddenly find ourselves cruising around Paris, Berlin, London, Vienna. I mean, I didn't even know Luxembourg existed till I woke up there.
She only had that when it's late and dark. No need to worry, she's smooth, she's smart. I'll see her later cause we can't be apart. You tell me my girl's trouble, yes you tell me my girl's trouble. Cause she falls, gets back up, stumbles round, spins around, then just falls. Gets back up, stumbles round, spins around. She melts into the night her own rude way.
It was cool. There were posters up everywhere. The shows were good. Everything was really exciting and new.
She knows she's floating, she can never get enough. Sings your name, her word is art. Her chest so windows, you can always see her heart. Her chest so windows, you can always see her heart. Wayfaring, drunken, dancing homo, she departs. But she knows her way back home. Yes, she knows her way back home. Sings to a branch that she passes on her way. Dances for a little sleepy, please stray. Talks to a crow, she named Mr. Blue Jay. I'll tell you my girl's wonders, yes, I'll tell you my girl's wonders. She's walking, staring upward, singing.
There was 8 of us, 9 including Ben. We traveled in Duff, Ben's Sprinter. All of our gear, all of our luggage, and all of our merch jammed into that thing.
Space is low, she sings a Bardo song. Space is high, she yawns and rubs her eyes. Then she calls me on her telly just to tell me about a spider she finds pretty red. Polka dotted spider. Police drive by and see her talking to the stars. Police have her put her hands on the car. Where are you going, miss? 76 Franklin, that's where my baby lives. Yeah, she knows her way back home. Yes, she knows her way back home. She knows her way back home. Yes, she knows her way back home. Yes, she knows her way back. Yes, she knows her way back. Here I sit, my porch stairs. I breathe and squint, my cat sits by me. Way down the street, I see my girl. She floats, yes, and dances slowly to me. Sit on me, hugging, both quiet in the dark. Whispering, cause it's a direct line to the heart. There is no distance that is keeping us apart. You tell me my girl's troubles, but you just don't know her wonders in the waiting. Whoa, yes, the love of waiting. Whoa, yes, the love of waiting. Whoa, yes, my love of waiting for her.
The tour was in the winter, and we mostly slept in freezing squats that had broken windows poofing in snow as we slept. So, all of us developed what we like to call the European cough.
Sick as hell. We didn't care. We were actually touring Europe, having the time of our lives.
Lesson 1. Self-promotion.
Dave, he's a monkey, he climbs all over everything.
You know, stoplights and stuff, and just getting the craziest places. He's all over the place.
It's funny walking around Boston and seeing them everywhere too.
He'll just take a bunch of time out of the day to go show.
Yeah, I try to make sure every time we go to any city or any place anywhere that I take all the merchandise stickers and go all around the towns. And I started learning the rules of stickering, and I would go to a city and some cops would have razor blade the stickers off, so suddenly it turned into me versus them. If you go on a lamppost and touch the button that takes the crosswalk thing to go off, you can put your foot there, and then usually put your foot next on the stop sign or the crosswalk sign, and you can get higher than any police officer will ever put the effort in to scrape it off.
Lesson 2. Merchandise.
Sean Flores showed up to a show at the Middle East in Cambridge wearing a piece of Big D merchandise that he made, maybe a jacket or a shirt or something. And we just got all excited and said, how do we get those? And he hooked us up.
We make everything. Our buddy Flores is a god. He just helps design, print, make, and we sell our stuff as cheap as we can, pay for our costs and make a little so we can put more gas in.
Kids will come up to us and be like, oh, you guys have the craziest merch and the craziest stuff. It has nothing to do with us, it's all Sean Flores. So, what started making Big D merch?
Big D had really crappy t-shirts. They were white shirts with a black print on the front, a black print on the back. I was in high school and I took basically a print shop class and decided to make my own as a school project. So I made a hoodie, it said Big D and the Kids Table on the back, and on the front I think too. From now on I just started making merch because it was cheaper for me to do it. Instead of going to normal classes, sit in the print shop, print shirts for the band, and you know, about 6 months, a couple batches anyway. The orders were never big back then. They were probably only 2-3 dozen shirts at most, and I got a job here. At night, off the clock, keep all the costs down because, believe it or not, buying merch is really expensive. The first Warped Tour that we did, that was the 2003 Warped Tour. We did exactly half the dates. There was 44 dates in the tour. We did 22 of them, and decided to do some math, put a budget together of exactly how many shirts we needed, and just to be able to hopefully break even on the tour, and printed out some shirts. I believe it was 1,000 t-shirts and 100 or 200 hoodies. It took me, it had to be 2 weeks to print it, because I would work here 9 to 5, 40, 48 hours a week, and then at 5 o'clock I would punch out and I'd stay here till 11, sometimes 2 in the morning, sometimes all night, just to get the shirts done for tour, so that we had something to sell to all the kids and, make money, pay for gas, and all the reasons that you would need marketing, I guess. It takes a toll on you working all night. People start showing up at 8 in the morning to work, and I'm still wearing the same clothes I was wearing the day before, and everybody's kind of wondering why I'm here. It's because of Big D.
Do you have any advice for kids?
Any advice for kids? Sure. Don't go overboard. Don't order 200 shirts if realistically you're only going to sell 50. Second thing is hunt around. Sometimes the best deal isn't the coolest place to get your shirts. For years, Big D never got their shirts done at any cool, trendy place to get merch, like or anywhere. There's always room for negotiation in the merch world. You can tell people that you got a better offer from somewhere else. If he says $6 a shirt, you tell him that you got $4.75. 9 out of 10 places will match or beat that price. The price of shirts depends on what color the shirt is. A black shirt is more expensive than a white shirt because of the dye. Things like 50-50 shirts are going to be cheaper than 100% cotton shirts. Keep an eye on your invoices. Don't pay for screens more than once. Definitely keep an eye on shipping charges. Sometimes merch companies will charge you maybe 2-day air on something that went ground. Easy to slip things in, especially if you don't have a good relationship with the merch company. If you're new to them, when you're on the road, 9 out of 10 clubs will take a merch percentage. Anything over 25% is highway robbery, and I would put up a huge fight against it. Generally, it'd probably be a promoter just trying to rip you off. I don't think if fair is the right word, but generally I think a 10% merch cut would be the closest thing to fair, other than having 100%. It's your merch, you pay for it, you sell it. You should keep the whole bit of the money, but be clever. Come up with ways to get around that merch percentage. If you're gonna do a count in, count out, maybe hide a couple shirts, maybe, lie about some numbers and hope that they don't double count you. Try and leave before the venue person comes out to settle. Be clever. Think of something you can do to get out of it. Because we all know it isn't fair. But it's all part of friendship and taking care of people.
To be able to tour, for us to be able to go to Vegas, to see South Carolina, to see Seattle, to see all these places is outrageous.
Freedom. It's the best thing.
And everywhere you go, whether it's 100 miles away or it's 100,000 miles away, you're still gonna get culture.
People, when you go to high school, you'll hear people saying, when I get out of high school, I'm going to drive cross country, And it's like, I would never have enough money to drive cross country. I never thought I could ever do anything like that. A lot of people say Americans don't really care about other countries who don't really care about going abroad and seeing all these things. That's not the case at all. It's just that you can't afford it. But through this band, through us just coming together as buddies, and playing with no label, with nothing, with barely a record out that we saved up to put out, we got to see the world. I go on tangents, so. What is your number one favorite thing about being free and on the road?
I like all the different people we meet. We've made so many friends, like guys in Mustard Plug from Michigan, or the Planet Smashers up in Canada. all these crazy people that we would never meet if we hadn't been in a band touring. That's what I like. We're at the jail.
We're at the jail.
Central booking of inmate records management.
I got in a lot of trouble on my first, I think actually it was my second tour ever. Because the thing about being on tour is you feel like when you're on tour and you go into like different cities and things, and you know you're doing things that your friends haven't done, and you're seeing all these different places. You feel like invincible. You kind of lose sight that you're still, in the eyes of the law, you're still, a civilian.
There he is.
They don't care where you're from. They don't care what your name is. They don't care about all that. And it was. I'm almost glad it happened, just because it was kind of like a smack in the face. It was just like, you're not invincible. You can get caught. You can go to jail for the night. And it was not fun going to jail.
Infamous J.R. Straight out of Central Booking, going on his world tour, starting in Texas tomorrow.
Every time I look on our tour and I see London, I always get so excited because I just love going to London, and the underworld kicks ass, and the shows are just mayhem, from start to finish.
One of my favorite places to play. The Metro in Chicago is really cool. We got to play there a couple times. And Chicago fans are awesome.
My favorite place to play is, I'd say like the Knitting Factory in New York City is definitely a fun place for me to play. One of my favorites, just because it's basically a small jazz club, and having like a rock show there is, it's a little cramped, but I've never played there with the band and had a bad show.
Oh, where are your favorite places to play?
Chain Reaction in Anaheim, Florida. Anaheim, California. Little Mountain Crack or something.
In Wilkes-Barre, it's called Cafe Metropolis or something like that. When you can get it packed into a small room, that's about as cool as it gets.
Smaller VFW shows, I think that's what defines you as a punk band. Those are the shows kids remember.
97, we would just go to every VFW, we'd go to every backyard, we'd go to every church, and we just, you get as many shows in there as you can before you break too much stuff.
That's what punk rock is.
Longest drive on tour. Oh, shit. We've definitely driven from one side of the country to the other side a couple times. Being like, we gotta get home, alright. Well, here comes our 55-hour drive from San Diego to Boston. And that's 55 hours straight. That's stopping to eat, to go to the bathroom, and to stretch your legs. It's not like getting hotel rooms overnight. It's just like 10 people piled in the van, going. After 6 hours, someone else's turn to drive. Miserable.
Worst place that I've ever slept was in Alkmaar in the Netherlands on our first European tour, on the second floor of a squat building. It's near Amsterdam, and there was no heat in the building, and it was probably February. I had every piece of clothing on that I had brought with me, my shoes, my jacket, my hat. I was inside a sleeping bag, and I still got no sleep because it was just too cold.
There was this one place in Italy or Germany, Italy, where they took us through this scrapyard, like metal scrapyard, up this terrible staircase to like where you would picture Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers might have a sleepover. And there were urine-stained mattresses all down this like factory floor. And they said, these are the accommodations, is good? And we said, yep, those were good, thank you. And that was the only time in my life that I drank as much as I possibly could to pass out as quickly as possible. And it worked, it happened. This is basically where I've been staying for a while. It's Steve, Big D is the bass player's room. I used to sleep on this couch, but the bed bugs that have infested Alston got so bad that I switched to this couch, which was given to us by Big D fans at the Hat Shell show we played with Les and Jake. But then the bed bugs got too bad on that one, but I just made do, and basically you get 5 bites a night, and then each bite lasts about 5 days, and they itch like a bitch. But recently, we got this couch, and so I usually sleep here, and I take the suitcase, and I can stick my legs that way, so that way Ian right here gave us the couch. So this is usually where I sleep. This is where the Girlfriend on Drugs video was, and the LAX video, and yeah. And so recently we're going on tour. What's up, Ian? And this is all the Big D CDs and stuff. This is Todd's room, but Todd went to AA. Good job, Todd. And so we infiltrated his room. So yeah, this is what Big D looks like before going on tour. We got Stray Bullets records, we got Drexel records. Yeah. This is the kitchen. There's some food in it because kids have been bringing us ramen to shows. So everybody in the band eats the ramen. As you see, JR just finished some. And then they give us like animal crackers. For some reason, animal crackers are really popular. They're a popular gift food. And I'll show you where Big D rehearses. There's more Big D CDs. That's a crap load of Big D CDs over there. We used to have a, storage facility, but we can't pay for it anymore. So this is where Big D rehearses. This is where most of the music gets written. We found this organ in the trash, and we use it now. And this is it. This is the Big D rehearsal space.
Lesson 3. Do's and don'ts.
First van was $1,500, and it was an 8-passenger, and we had 10 people in the van. You need something that's gonna work. Factor in how far you're gonna be traveling all the time. You don't have to worry about it making it across the country, right? But you don't want to miss a show. You never want to miss a show. I hate missing shows. That's the worst thing.
I got some don'ts for first-time touring bands. Don't talk about the show the night of the show. Wait until the next day. You could say like it was a good show, it was awesome, but be careful because you might go, we were awesome. Yeah, that was great, but then someone might say, yeah, but the tempo, and then suddenly it's not a good idea to talk about the show the night of the show. Always wait till the next day. Never talk about the band or anything to do with the band that's anything close to negative when drunk. Never do that.
You pay cash for playing shows, and sometimes you wind up carrying a lot of money all of a sudden for that one night. So it's a good idea to go to Staples and pick up a $20 safe, $30 safe, whatever it costs. Wherever you're staying that night, bring it in with you. Everyone's heard the stories of bands being robbed, getting their gear stolen. It's a good idea to have somebody sleep in the van. It's also a pain in the ass. When we started out, we used to actually load our gear into the hotel room or wherever we were staying. We didn't leave anything in the van overnight because, you know, we didn't want to have anything taken. We were really, really careful about it.
If you ever see a bandmate down in the dumps because everybody gets their day of just being tired, try to help them out. You got to be there for everybody.
The Big D show for me is we all have different jobs in the band. Part of mine is for the show, like setting up a lot of the stuff and giving the sound guy a stage plot and making sure everything goes right. You know, while the horn players are warming up or Dave's writing set lists, it's like getting the stage ready, making sure the show will go on without a hitch. It doesn't always work out, but making sure you have backups with everything. It's pretty stressful because my instrument relies on electricity, and if something goes wrong, man, it's stressful.
In the chase, the man turns away from the woman and she follows him.
What are you doing? Broke as hell, bitches. Dan is the man.
Dan does a lot in Big D and the Kids Table. He takes care of the van. He's the van guy. He's the best at parking it, you know.
He is the tour manager, basically. He settles up at the end of the night. He gets paid. Make sure we get our, water, or if they're feeding us. He does at least 50% of the driving, at least. One time he had to get a new engine put in the van out in LA, and he drove from LA to Denver by himself in the van while we were in a rent-a-car to meet back up with us. Dan basically does everything everybody else wouldn't want to do or couldn't do. And he plays trumpet.
I have a lot of responsibilities on tour. I guess I'm basically the tour manager, although if anybody's a real tour manager, they probably do a lot more work than I do. Settling up with clubs, talking to the promoters, advancing the shows, booking the hotels, doing a lot of driving, whatever needs to be done. And everybody in the band helps out with whatever needs to be done too, which is really cool. I was just kind of looking over some of our records, and it looks like we're spending something like $5,000 a month on merchandise. We spend about $120 a night on hotels. Gas I've worked out to probably like 75 bucks a day. Tolls probably a couple bucks, so somewhere around $2,500 for a month, probably, gas and tolls. We spend $450 a month on our rehearsal space.
And how much? We don't get paid, do we?
The band members get $30 a day when we're playing a show, or if we're on tour, $30 a day to get food, and some of the guys are able to save a little bit of that money to have something when they come home, but that's pretty much all we get. It's basically living expenses. Adds up to, when we did 200 shows last year, that adds up to like $6 grand a year, which is well below the poverty line. We have a 5-year loan on our van that costs about $300 a month. We paid for the trailer outright, and it was it's close to $5,000. Insurance on the trailer is covered under the insurance for the van, which is about $100 a month. Then there's miscellaneous expenses like sticks and strings and tons of duct tape and things you don't even think about, oil changes and who knows what. So if we're on tour for a month, generally our expenses will break down to somewhere around $500 plus per day.
Lesson 5. Recording budget.
Steve's like the mainframe computer. He's like, if you took a television or a TV and threw it on the ground, smashed it into bits, you could put it back together probably better than when you bought it.
When we first got started, we didn't have any idea what we were doing. We just knew We had to get a recording, and we had to get CDs made. So what you have to figure out is what's your budget. What's important? What's important is you want to get a good recording, but you also have to think about how much money you can afford to spend on a recording. And when you're done recording, you get a stereo master, which will soon turn into a CD. But in order to get it made into a CD, you have to take it to a mastering studio. You also have to consider the fact that you're doing a record, so recording, you have to pay someone to do all the graphic design. Unless you're skilled with graphic design, you can do it yourself. The next step in the process is the manufacturing. Manufacturing involves a lot of different things. The first thing that they do is, they'll replicate the CDs. All in all, the majority of the Fork in Hand releases, relatively simple artwork and stuff like that, lately have been costing around between $1,200 and probably $1,500 after shipping.
It's all sounding good to me.
Good morning, Mr. President. Yeah, it's nice to see you on TV. I'm excited, gonna change my life. Yeah, what you doing sounds good to me. Hey, President. Yeah, you President. You're full of shit. Yeah, you're full of shit. So what the hell are you doing in there? Nah, not another speech for me. Your neutral voice and core robotic stare, man. You don't care about anything. Hey, President.
Okay, up to there? Am I on with shit?
Pop quiz.
I don't know if fans understand how important that they are. On stage, if I look out and there's a bunch of people in front of me that have their hands up and they're just going crazy for a song. They hear a song start and they just go nuts because it's their favorite song. It's just so huge. It just makes you feel like you're on top of the world.
What is there, and what is the greatest thing a fan has ever told you?
Just when kids tell us that our music has gotten through some hard time in their life, we've gotten some really heartfelt letters and stuff.
They bring us food. They bring us bags of food. And I don't know if there's a guest book that they all talk on, but a lot of times it's the same food. It's animal crackers, and I guess it's probably the standard things that you would expect to give. But I'm so grateful because that's what we live off of. We eat that every night. Every night we get in the van, we're like, who's got the food? Dave, can you hand me a box of crackers? And we end up eating the food forever until it goes way past stale. And I think we asked for it once. That was 3 years ago before one show on the internet. And from there, they just went crazy and they give us food and DVDs and games and everything. It means so much.
What's the nicest thing a fan has ever said to you?
You must be a football player because you got a tight end.
I just know for us, every member of Big D, I think, is in love with music.
We grew up together, basically. We saw the world together.
Every single member of Big D is awesome. They've taken me from a younger kid who just wanted to go 100 miles per hour, and we're like, yo, this is how it goes. This is life. You're not invincible. You're gonna get in trouble if you do something illegal. It's basically turning me into a better musician.
I had to learn how to play guitar standing up because you can't sit down playing shows. So I used to practice in front of my mirror. We express ourselves in our movement on stage as well as what you hear.
We're just such a tight crew that we just make our own thing within ourselves.
So the band's worked hard to get to that level without any real help. Full-page ads or huge promos for their shows, openings for huge bands.
When we first started touring, we didn't have cell phones. We would have to stop on the side of the road to use a payphone.
Almost 10 years now. It's never changed, but the fan base has definitely grown to huge numbers because of all the hard work.
6. Kick back with friends.
I have no idea where I am.
Should we do it?
Make sure it's not piss.
It's not piss. It's beer.
I don't know where the fuck we are. But it's somehow working out. It's there, wait. I was told we were getting 40s, Paul.
They didn't have 40s.
You fucker.
Big boys.
I think this is possibly the lowest point in my life. I'm here by myself while Avi was just about to leave.
How low? I'm here. This is awesome.
Can't be that bad. You off too?
Sounds like you've been traveling.
I have no idea what's going on. Our writing process is completely fucked up. It's the weirdest thing. We haven't written any two songs in the same way.
We've become like machines with songwriting. We can say that we want to write a song, and then like within a couple days we'll have a song.
Come in with some chord changes and a loose arrangement. Give it to Dave, he writes lyrics, then we write horns. Or Dave will write a song.
Through the years, there have been different members that have written more at different times, whoever's inspired at the time.
I think I see the future of Big D's writing as like a half and half. I see it. We'll still be writing ska songs and ska punk songs and upbeat songs that kids can dance to and kids can get angry to, like break something or whatever. But I also I see us being able to throw in an aspect where we can be like, yeah, we can get you really angry, but we can make you want to go make out with your girlfriend too.
We'd put out Shot by Lammy, Good Luck, some live EP, some 7 inches, Gypsy Hill, How It Goes. And then we said, fuck this, man. Let's just write some music so that like the horns can solo a lot, Sean can just go crazy. Like don't have to worry about arrangements, not just total free writing, just outrageously free writing. So we decided to do a record called Strictly Dub. We wrote like 12 songs. We wanted to write like 22. Why? Because fuck it, we'll just write as many songs as we can. Basically write records. We always wrote music for us,
but this is like writing a record for us in a different level. This is just like completely shutting the world out, you know? And suddenly Joe Gittleman and all these different labels started asking us if we would do another punk ska record. And we were like, all right, sure, we'll do another punk ska record. So we're gonna do a strictly rude record is, I think, the title, I don't know.
What is it about Big D's sound that you like?
I like that everyone has their own style, and everyone in the band has certain things that they listen to.
I'd have to say my favorite thing to happen is at a Big D show are the vocal breaks in LAX, because it's getting to the point now where we can not say them and the crowd will do it, and that just gives me goosebumps every single time.
Well, the sound of Big D, I'll probably answer pretty positively because I'm in the band and I like it a lot. So I think it's the best because I think the whole point of being in a band, which I noticed in the late 80s and early 90s, was to experiment and try to find something new. And especially today's day, I think that a lot of the bands are very Coke and Pepsi, and they're kind of like writing the same power chorus songs over and over again. So what I like about us is that we're just a group of buddies that like punk, we like thrash, we like ska, we like dub, and we're just free in being able to we're free in playing and writing anything that we damn please.
There's been some talks recently about some label interest, which is always exciting.
I just got about 2 seconds before talking into the camera, Joe Gittleman and Joe Siv just called me to put out the new record on side 1. Sounds pretty cool.
Give us the opportunity to try and get bigger fans, more fans, people who have never heard us before. Might lead to better tours, bigger places. That's always exciting.
I was talking to a young man at a party in these war days, and he asked me my thoughts.
Some people ask also something to the aspect of like, do you guys think you'll ever make it?
We've accomplished a lot just playing the Middle East. Just playing the Middle East downstairs was like a huge goal, and when we did that, we were happy enough with what we had accomplished. And then going to Europe for the first time, or getting on Warped Tour. Every little baby step we've taken was huge for us and very satisfying. And if we never get any further, I'll be very happy with the way I've spent the last 10 years of my life.
Like, I made it, we made it, I personally made it the first time I grabbed the mic and played our first song. That's making it.
This is what I dreamed to be. This is what I wanted to do, was to play music. As long as I can remember, I was always, into music. I didn't know that you could do certain things, I didn't know that you could do these things, but I just forgot the fucking question.
We're kind of the underground kings right now, and I think that's cool. As far as making it, we've made it in my book. We've made it far beyond what I've ever expected as a musician.
I don't see any end. I don't, as of right now, I think if anything, the train is going, full speed right now.
Here we are at the recording session. Everyone's talking about really amazing things about timbales. Let's listen in.
I don't know what a fucking timbale is. They tell me to get one.
Hey, what do I know from timbales?
This is what he gets.
This is not a timbale.
This is not a timbale, this is a snare drum. And guess what, everybody? You can't play it, it has no name.
What do I think the future of Big D will be? I think this next record that we're working on right now is going to be a major step up for us. I think the last record was a major step already. I just see us going further. We're getting on better tours now. We get more respect from the industry than we ever have before. We're in magazines now a little bit. And I think that just having our foot in the door at this point is going to snowball. I think we're going to put out a better record than we ever have before. And I think people are going to sit up and take notice. I hope. The end. Can that be the last thing in the DVD?
Hey, you leaders from LA, Los Angeles, California. You know who you are. You drive in fancy cars. Your allowance exceeds my rent. Well, listen to what I have to say. Remind yourselves every day. Let's get the message on its way. Well, first of all, fuck your fucking attitudes. How can you be so fucking rude? You fucking look at me like when girls are jealous. And fuck your fucking LA bars. You're all a bunch of wannabe superstars. Yeah, fuck your fucking act. You're a bunch of dressed up fucking rats. You get anything you want. Mommy's jobless fucking runs. You're fucking lounging in daddy's fucking mansion. And all your fucking stupid names. Blair and Tavis, that's fucking lame. ZAC does not spell Zach. What the fuck is with all that? You think you're so fucking impressed if you get your name on the fucking guest list? Raise your nose to the people in line. Give the doorman a fucking high five. Shoes match my shirt. Does my shirt clash with my pants? Do my pants match my eyes? Do my eyes look good tonight? Will this place be cool enough? Your hair looks so tough. This looks so good for us. Tonight my money's gonna buy me love. Do my shoes match my shirt? Does my shirt clash with my pants? Do my pants match my eyes? Do my eyes look good tonight? Will this place be cool enough? Your hair looks so tough. This looks so good for us. Tonight my money's gonna buy me love. And fuck all of your deceiving. What's your fake heart, fake fucking bleeding? And all the girls you lady, you're mad. All the same fucking girls you fucking laugh at. And fucking fake ass world. And all your headed out fucking thrills. Some of us, we have to work hard just to get our little part. And maybe you're glamorous, not in Boston, but my friends are fucking awesome. And we'll keep on doing our best, even though our lives are a mess. Without my job, where's the rent? Should we all just call it quits? The dinner date sure costs a lot. When 28 bucks is all you got, and your life is at a stop, and all your dreams are else taught. Will this check support this tour? Will this tour lose my job? Without my job, where's the rent? Should we all just call it quits? The dinner date sure costs a lot. When 28 bucks is all you got, and your life is at a stop, and all your dreams are else taught. Will this check support this tour? Will this tour lose my job? Without my job, where's the rent? Should we all just call it quits? The dinner date sure costs a lot. When 28 bucks is all you got, and your life is at a stop, and all your dreams are else taught. And this is the difference between our lives. No wonder tonight you feel alright. And I'm sorry if my mind is occupied. I'm trying to forget to wonder why. This is the difference between our lives. No wonder tonight you feel alright. And I'm sorry if my mind is occupied. I'm trying to forget to wonder why. We're built up from nothing. I'm trying to forget to wonder why. We're built up from nothing. I'm trying to forget to wonder why. We're built up from nothing. I'm trying to forget to wonder why. We're built up from nothing. I'm trying to forget to wonder why.
Cambridge Soundworks, James speaking. How may I help you?
Yo, what's up?
Not much.
Y'all sell like stereos and shit?
Sure.
What do you think's like the best? I want to like, cause my name's Scully B Nuts. I'm an East Coast bitch, and these guys, Big D, got crazy bass up in that piece. I just want to get some bass up in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about that? What can you do for me? Can you give me a brand I might want?
Yeah, come down here and take a look.
Come down and take a look.
Yeah.
If Big D's down there, can you block that ass? Those bitches owe me cash money.
Sure.
All right, so word up, bro.
Bye.
Transfer your call.
Good evening, Rite Aid. This is Chris speaking. How may I help you?
Yo, what's up, Chris? Busting down doors and busting down walls. Name is Scully B Nuts, and Big D gave me blue balls. I need myself some ointment.
Excuse me?
I need myself some ointment.
You need what?
Can you connect me to the pharmacy? I need some ointment. I need a
Certainly.
question about an ointment.
Good evening, Rite Aid Pharmacy.
Hi, I got kind of an embarrassing question.
Go ahead.
I have some itching. My friend Big D told me Gold Bomb, but I...
Wait a minute. Is it a rash?
No.
Is it something you got?
No, it just seems as though I'm having some... It's like an itch.
No. I'm trying to get to the... I'm not trying to get,
Oh, okay, you're not trying to get personal.
I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm trying to find out exactly what it is so I can tell you what to use.
Oh, it's just an itch. It just seems to be bought. It's just an itch down there, and I've been pinching and rolling all night, but it's not working.
Yeah. How about...
Itch X or Gold Bond? Big D said Gold Bond, but I don't know. I think they're pimping me, hustling?
It's very itchy. So, let me see.
My nuts, yeah.
You should get yourself a tube of Tenectin.
Tenactin. All right. I'll come. Maybe I'll go there. I'm embarrassed by this.
Come to me.
Okay.
I'm in the pharmacy.
All right. Big D was like, if your balls are itching, go.
Well, I mean, if it's very itchy and you keep on scratching, you're
Well, pinch and roll.
You're going to get, the area is going to get raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The last thing I need is a raw testicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I've been popping nuts all night.
Yeah, Okay. Well, come on over.
I can joke around with you about that. I don't want to bust a nut over this.
No.
No.
Come on over and let's see what we can.
You're not gonna see it. I can't show it to you.
No.
It's my nuts.
I said, come on over.
I mean,
let's see what we can do.
Big D been grabbing my nuts, and I'm just like, what? They've been pimping my shit. They be hustling. What's your name?
George.
George.
What's yours?
Yeah, they call me B Nuts.
Okay. All right.
All right, George. Thanks a lot. Hey, hey, has Big D been down there scratching their nuts too? Big D, they told me they've been scratching their nuts all night. Those hip hopping motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can you say pimp that shit 96?
Pimp that shit 96.
Say go Big D. Say go Big D.
Okay.
Say Big D.
Big D.
Big D Nuts.
Big D Nuts. Okay.
Pimp my shit. Word up, George.
Okay.
Big D.